Hello, a lot of you guys on YouTube have been asking me how I animated the Rubik's Cube in 3ds Max. And this video is a demonstration in how I did this. In 3ds Max I used the link constraint controller to take all of these edge cubes and link them to all of these center cubes as I rotated each face. As you know, on a Rubik's Cube these center cubes never move, right? Well, the link constraint controller can be found over here on the motion panel. Look underneath the Assign Controller rollout, click on the Transform Controller here, and click on the Assign Controller button. Then click on the Link Constraint button and press OK. Now the Link Constraint Controller, it can be viewed like this. Suppose I want to pick up my iPod with my left hand. After I pick up the iPod with my left hand, the iPod's position in space is directly influenced by my left hand. So wherever my left hand goes, the iPod goes. Now suppose I want to drop off my iPod into my right hand. So I'll move my left hand all the way over to my right hand and drop off the iPod. Now it's in my right hand. And from this time forward, my right hand controls the position of where the iPod is going to be until I drop it off onto another object. Well, that's essentially the same idea that's going to be applied with the link constraint controller. Suppose we have this cube right here, and we link it to the center cube here. And we rotate the center cube 90 degrees or 180 degrees and hand off this cube to this orange center cube, and then have this orange center cube do whatever it wants to do with this cube. Well, I'll show you what I mean. Scroll down all the way to the bottom of the command panel and you'll find the link parameters rollout. And what we're going to really worry about right now is the add link button. The add link button allows the user to select what the target object is for the currently selected object. And the target object I want all these edge cubes to be is a center cube on any particular face. For right now we're going to rotate the white face. So I'll just target the white center face. Now be careful with the add link button, because after you select a target with the add link button, it doesn't turn off, as you can see right here. So you got to be sure to right click to turn it off, because if you don't turn it off and you decide, oh, I just selected the target I wanted, now I want to select the next object I want to link to the center cube, well, I'll accidentally link the current object that I have selected to the object that I meant to select, and that's not what you want to do. So be sure to right click. So I'll go ahead and link all of these. I've already had all these cubes assigned a link constraint controller, or a link controller, we'll just say. And as you can see here, the target is the white face, which is this right here, and it has been assigned to that white face cube on frame 0. So from frame 0 on, or until I decide to hand off any of these cubes to any other, or link these cubes to any other object, it will be influenced by the white face cube. And we'll give the center cube a keyframe, turn on auto key, move ahead 20 frames, and then we'll rotate this. Better put this on local. And we'll rotate this 180 degrees. And as you can see, rotated just fine. As before, you wouldn't be able to do that since nothing's been linked to any of these center cubes. And now we will link. Okay, well, hold on. Let me emphasize on this real quick. When you're using the add link button, okay, have auto key turned off, and I'll show you why. As you can see right here, nothing's happening. Nothing weird is happening yet, right? But let me put a hold on this and turn on auto key. As you can see here, this cube right here has no keyframes. Now it's got a keyframe, right? And I just linked it to this orange center cube. And watch this. I'll put a keyframe down for this. Go up 20 frames. I'll rotate this 90 degrees. Now just imagine I had all these edge cubes linked to the orange cube here, okay? The orange center cube. As you can see, everything looks okay, but this cube got thrown down all the way over here, and that's not right. I mean, that's not where it started at. But the reason why we have the cube right here is because 3ds Max detected that there was that this cube was in a different position over time in the timeline, so it automatically placed a keyframe on frame 0 for this cube, since there was no keyframe to anchor its current position in the timeline. So it does that for you, and that's not what we want to have happen. So I'll go ahead and fetch that, and I'll go ahead and link this. And I'm going to link it on frame 20. All of these edge cubes right here on frame 20 with auto key off. Got to be sure to have auto key off when you're linking at all times, whenever using it. I'll place a keyframe down, go over to 20 frames, and then rotate this 180 degrees. As you can see now, everything is starting to get scrambled up on the Rubik's Cube. And I'll do one more face, just to show how everything gets scrambled up. We'll do it on frame 40. So these will be linked on frame 40. And from frame 40 on, these cubes will be influenced by the blue face cube, as you can see over here. Turn on auto key, place a keyframe, go up 20 frames, oops, forgot one. Turn off auto key. Auto key. Okay, hold on. See, I want the start frame to be on frame 40, so I'll just type in 40 for this. Oops, don't have numlock on. Okay. Rotate that 180 degrees. And as you can see, the Rubik's Cube is getting scrambled up. And that's pretty much the gist of how I got the Rubik's Cube to be animated. You just scramble it up, and then from there solve the Rubik's Cube how you would normally solve a Rubik's Cube with whatever algorithm you use. One thing to be aware of: when I animated the Rubik's Cube, I kept animating forward. I never went back and changed a mistake I had. For instance, let me hold this. Suppose I didn't want to rotate this 180 degrees like I did. Okay? Suppose I wanted to go 90 degrees, so I'll go back 90 degrees. That's going to be a problem because these cubes right here, from frame 20 onward, were influenced by this center orange cube, right? So when we move forward in the timeline, it's as if it's still linked to the center cube, but it's in the wrong position. So it'll ruin our cube. So you don't want to do that. And that's pretty much how I animated the Rubik's Cube. I'll show you the file that I used in the final video. Now, this is the file of the final video that I have on YouTube. And as you can see, just have the Rubik's Cube solving itself. And that is all done using the link constraint. And it's a pretty tedious process, but it allowed me to be able to solve the Rubik's Cube. So, hope that gives you guys an idea of how I did it. Alright, thanks a lot.